Hi, in this session we're going to learn how do we use various arithmetic operators. Now we're going to take some example. Let us assume that a hotel owner comes and tells you that there is a GST which has been added, and for every bill we need to add the GST amount, and he tells you to write a program wherein he will give you the meal cost. Okay, then you need to calculate the GST amount on that meal cost and then give the final amount, okay, by calculating the GST. So now let's move into the program. Here, if you can just observe, I have a simple input wherein I'm trying to read the meal cost from the user, right? So I've declared the variable called as meal cost, and if you can just observe, meal cost basically a 2 word, so I'm just using C as uppercase out here. The first character of second word is uppercase, right? A scanf to read it. So after that I need to calculate the GST amount. So for that, first I need to know what is the GST percentage. Okay, now GST percent I would like to hard code here rather than asking from the user, because it does not change with every bill. The GST percentage remains the same, but GST amount will be calculated based on the meal cost. Fine. So the GST percentage, let us take it for example 5%, right? Now I need to calculate the GST amount. I would like to write GST amount. Okay, so how do I calculate the GST amount? It is like if GST percentage is 5, so 5% of the meal cost. So how do we get 5%? I'll just write GST percent by 100, the 5 by 100 into meal cost, right? So I calculate the GST amount. Once I calculate the GST amount, if you want, you can print the GST amount, and then I'd like to calculate the total bill. Total bill, right, equal to your original meal cost plus the GST amount, and then I'd like to print what is my total bill. Total bill or final bill equal to percentage, right? Okay, now I'd like to run this particular program. Now let's take an input wherein let us assume that the meal cost is 100, right? What is GST percentage? 5%. So for 100 rupees, what should be the GST amount? 5 rupees, and final cost should be 105. Let us see what is the output here. The cost what I am getting out here is 100. After looking at this bill, if you are a customer of that hotel, you will be happy telling that because of the software, he need not pay the GST amount. But the hotel owner will be in trouble because the GST amount has not been calculated by a program. But if the income tax department comes and then says that you have miscalculated, it's your problem, but you have to give the tax, right? So he has to pay the tax from his pocket, not the one which is collected from the customer. So we would like to rectify this particular problem, right? Now we don't know where the problem is. The problem could be at because of the mistake happened at different places. What do you think is the problem? Where exactly the problem is, and what is the problem, right? Now let me think that fine, GST amount is mentioned as int, it should be float. Fine, that's not a problem. And then total bill should also be float. Fine, that's also fine. I'll try to print percentage F. Do you think this will solve the problem? Now let's try to run the program and verify this. I'd like to give the same 100, and then let us try to observe that it is still 100, right? So this was not the major problem. Now where is the problem, right? If you observe carefully, it will be like, what is 5 by 100? If you can just understand what is 5 by 100. What is 5 by 100? It should be 0.05, right? But in this particular case, remember, the numerator, which is GST percentage, is an integer value, and denominator, which is 100, is also an integer value. When you perform integer divide by integer, it performs integer division. So when you perform integer division, instead of getting 0.05, you will get it as 0, right? Now if you really want to get 0.05, which is floating point division, one of the operands has to be a float value. Either the numerator has to be float or denominator has to be float, right? So now if you have 100 or some literal, you can just write .0 to make it float. The other way to make a variable as float for only for that particular expression is using something called as typecasting, right? This is the place where I'm typecasting it out here. I'd like to say that GST percentage should be treated as float for this calculation, right? Now I'd like to rerun the program and then like to give same 100, right? Here it's not a problem. Clear? Okay. Let's try to verify with different inputs. Now let us say it is 50, right? 2 rupee 50 paise is GST. Clear. Now the task for you guys is, now if you say 52 rupees 50 paisa, do we really deal with paisas now? No, right? The smallest denomination what we have as of now is 1 rupee. So we want you to modify this program wherein, okay, the bill is rounded off to the nearest rupee. Fine. Thank you.